You know what you don't have in your life? A really wicked West Virginia t-shirt. I'm tired of the old Flying WV t-shirts. You know why? Because they suck. And I've gone to all the apparel stores for West Virginia, and they all suck. Well, there's a new apparel in town, CouchBurner, West Virginia. And their logo is a freaking this right here. And it's a burning couch. It's awesome. And also, our t-shirts are available on their website at CouchBurnerWV.com. So you can get our stuff, you can get their stuff, and we can be cool and stuff. And that's that. CouchBurnerWV.com. Check it out. Or if you don't know what to tell you. You just won't be cool at the next tailgate.
Yeah. We're gonna have to talk louder than this for the whole fucking podcast. Oh, piss.
It does kind of upset me that I can't talk like this anymore.
When we rap to synth weird beats.
It's called Vapor Dream.
Vapor Dream. That's what that mix was called?
Yeah, Vapor Dream.
Vapor Dream?
Yeah. Pretty sure it was called Vapor Dream. I typed in synth instrumentals slow, and this is what it's called. It's called Chill Synth Wave, Dream Wave, Vapor Wave, Instrumental to Slow Dance to, LAX to JFK, and yeah, that's actually it.
Instrumentals to JFK?
Like LAX to JFK, so the airports.
Oh, okay.
Can I play some slow dance music to JFK's Killing?
I'm in Delaware.
yeah, right. I'd never go there.
Yeah, honestly, I would never do that.
Delaware's not a real place.
Won't you come in my eyes?
Oh, I love that button that you just made.
I made that the first week of podcasting.
Dang. You mean 73 episodes ago?
73 weeks ago, I made, which one is it?
Won't you come in my eyes?
And that was my peak. And I said, you know what? I'm going to save it.
And
I'm going to save it.
I'm glad we're showcasing that button on the 73rd episode.
Won't you come in my eyes?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You ever got cum in your eye?
Maybe by association with my finger. You know what I mean?
What do you mean maybe? I mean,
Come by association.
No, I mean, like you said maybe.
Yeah. Maybe if I happened to, like, had just came and I got a little on my finger, so it's like come by association of my finger, and then, like, I didn't get it all off. Like, it's dark. I go and wipe it off of my body.
Yeah.
Like, where do you come? Because I come right on my thigh. Hot take.
Yes. I guess I just come into some tissues.
You prepare that much that you have tissues on deck?
Yeah, I've got tissues right by my bed.
I don't do that.
I have done your method, though. I know what you're talking about.
You've done it?
Yeah.
After I told you?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
So you had said,
dude, listen, you've taught me a lot of things.
So you
taught me how to sing.
So you dry rubbed on your leg?
Yes.
Like I do every time?
Yes. I've done it before.
Because my mom wouldn't buy me lotion when I was a kid because she said, "You're smooth enough." That's what she said.
Really?
She said, "You're smooth enough. You don't need any more lotion." I'm like, "Mom, I'm running out of lotion."
She really was trying to.
So she you know what she made me do? She said, "You're smooth enough." I'm like, "No, I'm dry. My body's so dry." So I had to rub conditioner all over my body.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. It's not meant for you. I started growing hair all over my body like a Sasquatch at 12 years old. Do you know how embarrassing that is?
Oh, I saw you, dude. You were a freak.
Yeah.
You were
I was the
real
only
freakazoid.
kid that was 12 years old that had hair all over his hands.
Well, that's why.
You my best friend.
Look at me now. I have hair all over my hands now. So.
But, like, you can't really tell. Honestly, like, as you get older, like, when you're a little kid, remember, like, the first time you saw, like, a girl when in, like, elementary school where she had hairy legs, and you're like, wait, girls don't have hairy legs. They just were like in that between stage of being able to shave their legs, like knowing to shave their legs and not.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about my hands when she said, like, she was like, "Oh, you don't need any more lotion," and I grew hair on my hands.
Yeah.
I was the only kid with hair on my hands.
I used to really not be into all my body hair. I used to like think, I was like, dang it, I'm gonna be a freaking hairy guy.
I only wanted hair, man. I was on the opposite side of the spectrum. I looked at our friend, best man on the earth. He was in 8th grade. He had armpit hair, and me and his brother, we looked at him. We were like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
he's gonna get all the bitches," because whenever he raises his hand in class, everybody's gonna see a little sneak peek of what they're gonna get later.
Yeah. Freaking hair.
God damn it!
I was opposite, man. I've always had hair.
But I honestly grew to have an amazing set of armpits. Not even lying. My mother said that she married my dad for his armpits, and I have the same armpits.
It's like a new pair of underwear.
Yeah. It's great. You do, honestly. You got a good solid armpit, and there's nobody can take that away from you.
Well, I think it's the size of my gland.
Yeah, why is
The size of my gland is so spherical.
I know.
It's like a sphere.
Could be a
and then
tumor.
it makes my hair spread wide.
Do you think it might be a tumor?
I could probably. Well, I mean, okay. What's the likeliness of? Ooh, did I come? I've never used the word likeliness.
You're alert today.
I know.
You're like, I could tell you took Alpha Brain today.
Yeah, and I didn't. But
I'm saying you have an Alpha Brain.
I
today.
did eat Five Guys, and that does do something to me whenever I have all those fries.
What kind of brain am I have right now?
You
Is it
got
a
Firefly brain,
Is it a Bravo brain?
Bravo brain,
Alpha
like a Johnny,
Bravo?
like a Johnny Bravo.
Sure.
You don't want that brain,
Dude, I'm okay.
but I think it's very unlikely that I have two perfectly made armpits because of tumors, like the exact same size tumor on either armpit. That's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Very few people have the same, like, have symmetrical tumors. On God.
Yeah, I think, a lot of times, if they are tumors, your tumors have made your body better. But can you imagine being the Grinch and you have a tiny little?
Wait,
Listen,
my tumors have made me better.
yeah, because they made your armpits.
Yeah,
look better.
of course.
Imagine being the Grinch and getting used to having this tiny ass little heart, and
Oh,
then
my God.
and then you learn how to love, and it grows up to six or 7 times the size.
Yeah.
And then your rib cage has to accommodate for your giant heart now.
Right, and so do your lungs and everything else. I mean, he could probably breathe so well.
He could, not now.
Like compared to, okay, your heart is in like this vicinity. So like my throat goes right here. Where's my little belly start? It's below my diaphragm. So he had an amazing diaphragm. Right here. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's in this area. And he had an amazing diaphragm control because he had such a small heart that his diaphragm actually came up a little higher. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's still attached to his rib cage, but it's sucked up higher.
Right. Yeah.
An amazing.
The Grinch's organ control is unlike any person or character ever made up.
It's like those guys where you see like there's a guy on TikTok who is extremely overweight and he can move his belly. Like it's obviously some sort of abdominal control. He has abs under there because he can move his entire belly like alone. So he doesn't have to do anything. And there's also an old NFL football coach. I don't know if he's coaching anywhere now, but he used to coach for the Chiefs, I think. And every time he like would yell like do that his belly would move, and it was really funny. And they did like a whole collab, like they had did a whole not a collab, whatever it's called when you put a bunch of videos together,
A compilation.
And they did a whole compilation of the belly moving every time he said like hut or something. It was
he would
hilarious.
like bark at the players and his belly would jump
He'd
up.
be like,
kind of like when a pug barks, its butthole goes.
like when a pug barks, well, maybe a pug barks and it like puckers, but like my girlfriend's dog, it like shoots out. Like it goes, like if this is the butthole, right? And it's like curved in, like my fingers. It goes.
Does it ever wonder? Do you ever wonder if maybe the dog is barking out of his butthole and not its mouth?
Well, I actually talked to her about that. I said, maybe he's screaming. Maybe he's like going like that. Oh, like if he's going, oh, and because his butthole is barking, like making a noise, and it hurts him. He goes, oh, like that. Like, you know, like when you get like a side stitch in your side or whatever, or like a cramp, you go, ah.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. It's cramp of the butthole and it's barking.
Maybe the dog has a brain on the backside of his body. He's kind of a cat dog situation, but the cat part didn't completely develop, and it's just a butthole, but it talks.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. It's trying to say meow, but it only knows bees.
hey, speaking of made up shit,
Yeah.
I read today online that Delaware, one of the main reasons people go to Delaware is because of their tourist attractions.
Why would you do that? Delaware, okay, one, I don't even know how you found information on Delaware.
Every day is a new day.
I know. You couldn't find any information on Delaware?
No, I actually said, is Delaware a state? And the Google said, I don't know.
I mean, Delaware.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just a large city. I think it's like 38 miles wide or something.
I Googled it, and it said that Delaware is the second smallest state next to Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island, everyone agrees. I've actually thought about this exact thing. Rhode Island, everyone agrees except for the people that live in Rhode Island, that Rhode Island is just a city. Like everyone in the whole nation agrees they're not a state. But we got to kind of be like, you know, play the game.
Yeah.
It's like you have like the weird, like he's like the weird cousin of the United States. It's like, okay, you're a state.
Yeah.
Like we can kind of let him play along, but everyone knows he's not really a state. He's a big town.
And what I thought was interesting was when we interviewed every single person in the United States, everybody did agree that.
Right.
And I will say the people from West Virginia, every time we interviewed them about it, they were the coolest about it.
Right.
Every other state hates Rhode Island.
Yeah,
I don't know what every other state aside from West Virginia's beef is with Rhode Island.
Right.
But lay off them.
And honestly, Delaware's beef with Rhode Island is that Delaware
Wanted to be
was
the smallest.
first,
Yeah.
and they wanted to be the smallest. Like they collapsed their borders to be small, and then Rhode Island was like, "Fucking watch this, bitch."
We're a city block. We're a whole state.
Hey, Rhode Island, do you even have a stoplight?
I saw something about fucking Delaware that said that they were the lowest state in the United States.
Lowest state?
Yeah, in terms of being above like seawater, like sea level.
Oh, so you're we're Delaware. We're gonna.
They're 60 feet above the ocean. Like they're the lowest. They're the low guys.
Yeah.
Like if you got friends in low places, they're probably in Delaware.
Yeah. So Delaware is like bragging about if a big ship goes by, it's underwater.
Yeah.
I mean, Delaware.
Congratulations. A cargo ship, they have to dodge around Delaware shores just to be able
To not get beached.
Yeah, so
I texted Uncle Al today, and
he lives in Delaware?
yeah,
Supposedly.
supposedly.
We don't know anyone that lives in Delaware, actually.
Uncle Al, I know you live in Delaware, but do you live in Delaware?
Do you know where the Delaware border is?
I asked Uncle Al today to tell me a fun fact about Delaware because he lives there. He loves it there.
Supposedly.
Yeah, he comes to West Virginia all the time because he loves it. West Virginia, who wouldn't? But he's always living in Delaware. And this is I said, give me a fun fact about Delaware. He said, Blackbeard the pirate was rumored to have hidden a treasure in Blackbird Forest north of Dover, which is in Delaware.
Okay. First off, no.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Just because, what did he hide? A blackbird?
It was just treasure.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Blackbeard hid something in Blackbird forest, they would have just called it Blackbeard Forest if that was true.
I
But
get where you come from.
So you're saying that Blackbeard is that dumb to make a forest, like to hide something that he treasured so much, a treasure, into something that close to his name? Of course not.
A random forest.
No, it's in the Redwood Forest.
Bottom
across
line,
the continent.
The bottom line is all pirates hide their treasure at the bottom of the ocean.
Of course,
And
because pirates didn't know what to do with it once they had it.
Why did pirates just bury their fucking treasure everywhere?
Because pirates are like dogs if they caught a car. You know, they catch a car, they're like, oh, I don't know.
We're just on the ocean all the time. I guess I can't really buy anything. Like
Yeah.
once the pirate gets the jewels and the booty,
Right.
he's like he's just carrying it around. He's like, I guess I can't really like do anything with this because I just love the ocean so much.
Yeah,
Let's bury it. Maybe something will happen.
yeah, and then like they're like, man, I cannot bury this treasure deep enough on land. You know what's deeper than land? The ocean.
And you know what's almost as low as the ocean?
What?
Delaware.
Yeah, it's so close to being
So,
underwater.
with this logic that we're saying right now, maybe Delaware is full of buried treasure.
Honestly,
Because it's very close to the ocean level.
it probably has an amazing abundance of driftwood and coral.
I can live with that. I can live with that fact.
I can only imagine that all of the driftwood from old pirate ships and treasure chests and coral and turtle skulls funnel right into Delaware. So honestly,
You know what they do with it?
The one thing I'll give Delaware, they get a lot of drifting.
I mean Delaware.
They should have called it Delaware Drift, not Tokyo Drift.
Drift-aware. That's what they should have called it.
They shouldn't have called it Tupperware either. They should have called it Delaware.
I know what they do with all of that driftwood.
What?
They pick it all up. They put it in a blender and blend it up, and they serve it with some kielbasa, and they call it scrapple. Have you ever had scrapple?
No, I played the game though.
Not Scrabble, scrapple.
Oh, I just thought you were like emphasizing the bees more.
Scrap.
Yeah,
Scrapple.
it's funny how peas are just emphasized bees, but yeah, okay, go ahead.
So, bologna is made from just like random parts, right? And they make it into flat little patties.
I don't agree with that, but go ahead.
That's
I'll play the game.
yeah. Same thing with hot dogs. You know how it's just like beef parts, and they just like make it into a hot dog.
The finest parts, but yeah.
Okay, well, Delaware tried to do their own thing, and they made scrapple, but it doesn't have a skin on it. It doesn't stick together. It's just like this clump of meat and cement. And then they love it. They eat it with breakfast.
So it's like Hawaii took Spam and they're like, oh my God, we got to have our own nest thing.
Yeah. And they make scrapple.
Scrapple!
And scrapple comes in like a tube, like a sausage, right? You cut it into patties, kind of.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, you know how in the tube of meat, like that skin like holds the meat
like
together?
pepperoni.
Yeah, like a sausage or a pepperoni.
Yeah.
The only thing with scrapple is when you cut it, once you cut that skin, it's just like a hollow shell of crumbly meat.
So you got to eat it fast.
It just falls apart. I don't know.
So you have to eat it like this.
If you want to eat it in a patty, you got to put Elmer's glue all over the scrapple and it keep it together because it's just crumbly meat.
Then it stays with you for a long time, and you're like, man, I love Delaware.
If there was a battle of the meats, Scrapple would be in the hospital first. He'd be falling apart
Right. Yeah, if there was like an MMA tournament,
of meats.
like a Dragon Ball Z tournament
I mean Delaware.
of tournaments.
Yeah.
If there was like, okay, Dragon Ball Z, they're like, here's Goku, here's Piccolo, here's some fat guy that twitches his eyebrows a lot, and then Scrapple. Scrapple's going home compared to the fat guy that twitches his eyebrows.
Honestly, Scrapple's not going home.
Scrapple.
Some Delaware is going to come up on him after he gets injured and stab him in the back.
You know what happens to
And eat 'em.
Scrapple? The fat guy that his eyes twitch a lot and he goes grimaces like, He punches him and he goes, Like a ding. He disappears and he goes, ding. That's Scrapple in the sky. He doesn't even land again. He fucking lands on like dumb Pluto or some shit. That's all I'm saying.
One time I was in Delaware with.
Supposedly.
One time I think I was in Delaware.
It probably
I
was
was
just
with my
Virginia.
friend. I was with my friend Ken, and I was there for the guest spot. And me and Ken were drinking beer all week, but one day he broke out a little weed pen, and we started hitting it.
That's
and
not nice.
I got a little too blazed up in Delaware.
Yeah.
So we were having a couple beers at the bar, but
So you got high in the lowest place in America?
yes.
Jesus Christ, dude.
But the thing
not
was-
everybody can say that unless you live in Delaware, supposedly.
I was a little too high.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Arby's, and I remember.
That's the busiest place in Delaware.
I know.
Nowhere else has a busy Arby's except for in Delaware because they
It's a
don't have
4-star
anything
restaurant.
else. Yeah.
So we order our food,
Yeah.
and Ken, I don't know if he forgot that we were in a drive-through. He goes up to the window,
Yeah.
and the lady says, "That'll be $9.95, sir," and it scared him. So as soon as she said that, he jumped and looked at her, which it scared him, but it made me start laughing. So I'm dying laughing at him because he got scared by the Arby's girl. And then we get our food. And what did the person said something to us? I think they handed us the 2 sandwiches.
Yeah.
They didn't put them in a bag. So they handed them to us first.
They don't have bags in Delaware.
No. I think they handed us our drinks first.
Okay, yeah. As you should.
And we're trying to be cool, and we're playing it off. We're taking the drinks.
Yeah.
And then
Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, seriously. And then the girl goes, "Do you want a sack for your roast beef?"
I'll sack your roast beef, bitch.
When she asked us if we wanted a sack for our roast beef, I lost it. I lost my mind. I was laughing so hard, and Ken was taking it from it. And we're crying.
I'm in Delaware.
People in Delaware don't say bag.
"Do you want a sack for your roast beef?" Oh,
I'll sack
That's-
your
that's
beef,
my-
you bitch.
that's my Delaware story. I'll never go back. I'll never go back there.
You my best friend. Won't you come?
I'm not even high, and I think that's funny. So you had the right to not remain calm.
Yeah. I lost my mind.
You want a sack? Oh,
No. Do you want a sack for your roast beef?
sure, lady. Sure, lady. Whatever you want. Just don't hurt me.
Oh, it was so funny at the time. I wonder if Ken remembers that. I'm gonna have to text him and ask him.
It's people listen. It's just it's whatever. Them yeah. Sometimes people say sack. Sometimes they say bag. No, they always say bag, and they always give you a bag when you're in a drive-through. What are you gonna do? You're gonna give all of the items separately with 2 guys in a car. It's a large order.
If anybody ever would ask me in any situation if I want a sack for my roast beef, I'm gonna laugh. I feel like if you go to CVS and you're buying condoms, that's when they can say, "Do you want a sack for your roast beef?" That's what I'm buying. Trojans.
It's okay, we got a sack for your rubbers. Now, do you want a sack for your roast beef? It's no, the bag's in the bag. The bag's in the bag.
This is the sack for my roast beef.
The sack's in the sack for my sack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Have you ever been to Delaware?
No,
Do you ever want to go?
it doesn't exist.
It's the small city.
Okay,
in the
so it
country.
does
Small state.
exist.
It's like
I've
a
been there
small
one time. I took a picture next to an elk.
Well, that's
Not an elk.
an elk.
Fake elk. It was called Elk something. The town was called Elk something, and there was a giant elk at a restaurant So my dad said, I really want to take a picture with that. So I just took a really awkward picture. That's kind of a thing me and my dad did when I was younger, is he would just I would take a picture of him next to something, but he would just be standing like this. Just like arms down, not in his pockets, not posed or anything. He just kind of be like looking somewhere. And it would just be something that he thinks is funny behind him.
And that is funny.
Like one time we took a picture of him just standing out on a cruise ship. There was this giant painting that was like 15 feet long, and he stood in front of a naked lady painting, like laying there, and his head was like where the bush was.
Your dad's always covering up bushes.
So
with
he
his
just
head.
went. He was like, and then I took the picture. And then there was like a bunch of this is on Carnival Pride, by the way. I'm sure the wallpaper's the same. It's like a bunch of in the hallways for like where the cabins are, like where all the rooms are. It's like a bunch of little orange Dutch boys. Like the paint, it's like outline, like it's in orange lining, but it's like orange and white Dutch boys everywhere. And we just like took pictures next to all the little Dutch boys everywhere. It was just a really funny thing. I never really understood why they took that, because it's wallpaper. It like repeated.
I bet that Delaware's full of little Dutch boys.
I can only imagine.
I don't think Delaware's full of elk, though.
No, they're not full of elk. I didn't even get
I
on
wouldn't recommend going to Delaware for a hunting expedition for elk.
Yeah, if you looked up where to go deer hunting, and it like listed all the states, Delaware would be 50, actually 51, behind what's the territory? I'm trying to think of the territory. Shit.
No idea.
Now I sound like an idiot, but I've had 3 beers and I'm just not thinking correctly.
Won't you come in my...
That's okay. We don't need to know about territories. This isn't the...
Where Josh Martinez is
1900s.
from.
Josh Martinez? You mean the man, the myth, the legend?
It's like a new pair of underwear.
Well, who was born here? Oh my God, I got it.
feel
I
like-
gotta Google because I'm an idiot. Everyone else knows that's listening. Everyone else knows that's listening.
Can you repeat it for me?
Our territory. It's not a state, it's a territory.
Oh, I don't know.
You my best friend.
I wonder if I'll ever return to Delaware to go to that Arby's with Ken.
Puerto Rico! Ga, 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 ga.
I think that was... I don't think you could...
What do you mean? I'm pretty sure that's what it says on that one song.
Probably.
It goes, Puerto Rico, ga, 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 ga.
Bum, bum,
Do
bum,
the
bum,
Harlem
bum.
Shake.
Dum, 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 dum. Yeah. So how's the shop going? How's the progress on your new barbershop going, dog?
It's all right. It's good. Everything's going according to plan.
Sick of
Everything's a
painting?
part of the plan.
Are you sick of painting?
Oh, well, yeah, I can see why people don't want to paint. But it wasn't hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't a big deal. I enjoy tasks that are an instant reward. You know what I'm saying? That's why I cut hair. It's like, and I'm sure that's something that yours is a little more prolonged. But it is like once you're done with it, it's like, that is your reward. You did that, right? I hate when there's days when you feel like you did things, but nothing got done. Nothing was finished. That is the worst day to me. Isn't that just the worst day?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how people work on cars, because working on a car, like say you buy an old El Camino and you're fixing it, you're putting in new floorboards, you're putting in new engines, all this stuff. You're basically making a brand new car. I mean, even if you worked on it every day all the time, like that's like a year. And you didn't do anything, and like you're doing stuff. Like remember our friend, he would like post pictures of like the truck he was making, and it looked the same every time until like 3 years later, and then it was done. It's like, oh, now it looks different. But it looked the same every single time you saw it.
Yeah, stuff.
That's why I need an instant reward. I'm like a dog. I need my begging strips. I need every 30 minutes to an hour, I need a new accomplishment.
Yeah.
And painting does that pretty well because it's as soon as you stroke the brush,
Yep. It's
you
like
get a reward.
it's like you start it that day. At the end of the day, you get a whole nother shade on your wall. It just looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Probably felt pretty good when you did all your sinks and all that stuff too.
Right. I mean, that was
That's
really
why
nice.
Also, putting furniture together is kind of fun.
It is fun. It's only not fun when you have someone next to you, like reading the instructions when you kind of already did, and they're like a step behind you.
Yeah.
That's really annoying to me.
There's some jobs that people can help you with, such as painting and all the electrical work. But like, if you have furniture to put together, sometimes it's kind of nice just to like, it's like, leave me alone while I'm doing
I
this.
had a nice day today. I was by myself in the new shop putting things together,
It's fun.
and I listened to Big Jet Plane on repeat for like 3 hours.
It's like a new pair of underwear.
Honestly, it's like I'm sliding the old dungarees off, and I'm throwing on I'm throwing on a hot thong.
I'm in Delaware.
Yeah, but back to Delaware. I mean,
Fuck it.
fuck them.
I honestly, sorry to anybody who lives there. Uncle Al, apologize.
Dude,
to you
I'm
as
so
well.
sorry, Uncle
I can't
Al,
wait
that
till you
they-
live in West Virginia where you belong.
I can't believe that they got you.
Yeah. What does Delaware do to entice these people to live there?
It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle of the United States. It's kind of like once you go through, like people that go through there stay there. Like people vanish all the time.
It's a brainwashing.
Honestly, they probably have a lot of quicksand because they're so close to the ocean floor.
It's a cult. Delaware is a cult.
Delaware is a cult. Everybody makes fun of like Ohio because it's so flat and the shape is boring and they don't do anything. I mean, what do they do? Name one thing Ohio did.
Made Kid Cudi.
The end. Period.
Yeah. Another thing they did,
Made the Buckeye famous.
you know what else they did?
Mm.
They made a really funny name for a football team. Cleveland Browns.
And the Buckeyes.
Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah.
Both, like, can you imagine the Cleveland Browns coming out of a Buckeye? That's hilarious.
Yeah. And they
jokes.
also named a basketball team after a shitty car. The Cavaliers.
Yeah,
It's like,
seriously.
remember when that time you saw a Cavalier with a 3-wheeler on top of it? Or was it a Dodge Neon? Or
No,
something like that?
I forget what it was. I think it was a tracker?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that big. It was a
No,
car.
It was a car, but there was a 3-wheeler on the back of it.
Yeah.
On the
On the
glass.
glass. On the top. Not just the back of it. It was on top of the vehicle.
And that's why West Virginia is the best state.
West Virginia!
It's like a new pair of underwear.
Great.
Yeah. West Virginia is like a new pair of underwear compared to Virginia
Oh, yeah.
because there's still plantation avenues and plantation streets over in Virginia, which that's just racist for farm.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those over here. We do have a plantation inn, but it's not very busy on the side of 79.
I don't know.
Nobody's been there.
Yeah.
Nobody's been there. It's like the Delaware of 79.
I actually don't even know if I know a whole lot about West Virginia. I know about Morgantown. I love Morgantown.
Well, to give you some insight, people that don't live in Morgantown that are in West Virginia, they don't really claim us. They think that we're more like Pittsburgh and Maryland.
We're the city
mixed.
folk.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So listen, we're not city folk. We're just better than you.
Yeah, maybe.
Go anywhere else in West Virginia and tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Paw. That's a better place.
That's
Got
a
a
nice-
nice river.
That's a nice little country place.
Paw. Davis.
Nice little country place.
Better. It's not as we're not talking about bigger and more businesses. We're just talking about quality.
Right.
Now, Davis and Thomas, paint your buildings, and you got a brand new town. And people will show up more. Just paint the buildings.
Yeah.
Everything else falls into place. You can keep the insides exactly the same. As long as you paint those buildings, you're good.
Yeah, keeping it artsy, that attracts a lot of people. But I think, yeah, if they just did a little
Fresh-
makeover, fresh coat of paint on the town
Literally, that's it.
and a weed eater.
Weed eater. Yep.
Yep, that's all you need.
Yep. You don't need anything else. Really?
Just hire one guy give him $100 for the day and have him do it. He would be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe not all the paint, but the weed eating for sure.
Yeah. And they have some really cool places in those areas have really cool stuff. Just paint the outside of the building. That's all I want.
I think this podcast has been pretty adamant about letting you know that Delaware is a mysterious, untrustworthy state.
Right.
It's not fun there. It's low there.
Right.
Second smallest state. And don't get brainwashed by the government officials of Delaware trying to get you to live in their state.
Right. Right.
West Virginia is cool. Come here. It's great. And we talked about one other thing. Do you remember what it was?
Earlier?
Right at the beginning of the podcast.
No.
I don't remember
I don't
either.
remember.
Do you have any announcements for the podcast?
I'm just trying to think of. I mean, so if you really wanted to, no, I did talk to a guy that was pretty knowledgeable of corruption. He is a doctor from Syria. He's a surgeon from Syria, and he moved from Syria, came here, became a surgeon, all that, right? And he said, this is, and I believe him because he's a very smart person. He says West Virginia is one of the most corrupt states in ever.
How come?
Because I'll give you just a couple of examples, and then we can just leave the whole thing. Did you know there's only one company that fixes all of our roads? So you think it's the Department of Highways. It's one company. Yeah, they may have multiple LLCs or whatever, but it's one company. And they make it extremely hard for anything out of state to do anything with the roads because you have to get certain licensing and all that stuff. And it's under the disguise of keeping state stuff in state, right? But they don't really care about that. It's just one business. Another thing, every building, so WVU doesn't pay taxes, right?
I didn't know that, no.
So WVU is a state entity, pays no taxes. So that's why Morgantown's roads don't get fixed. Okay. And then they don't get fixed because there's one person. There's one person that runs the whole thing. Also, when you pay your taxes to your state, it doesn't go to your town, it goes to your state, so they can just put it wherever they want.
Right.
So all the money comes from Morgantown, and it can go wherever they live, right? But WVU owns, that building that has Smoothie King and IHOP and all that? So let's take that for example. WVU owns that building. They made it. Then they put all these businesses in it and charge them rent. The rent that those businesses pay, the business obviously pays taxes, but the businesses pay WVU to be in the building, then WVU doesn't pay taxes for the building.
Whoa.
So everything WVU does at all, they don't pay taxes on, which I've known that for a long time. I hear that all the time. But I didn't really recognize so any apartments, any housing, any businesses that are right on that are considered campus, they pay no taxes on.
It's pretty
also, the WVU hospital. It's a private hospital, but under the disguise of WVU hospital. And so the whole hospital, all the money that goes into the profit of the hospital, they pay no taxes on.
That's gnarly. It's pretty crazy.
So Delaware might not be that bad.
I don't know. I still love it here.
And the reason people stay here is because we have a lot of pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, we do. Do you think that they have that
I'm in Delaware.
in Delaware?
You know, I don't think so because of all of my Google searches. I don't think that Delaware. I don't think they don't got it going on. Well, they're so small. They're so small.
Almost the smallest.
Yeah, and I think they do get crowded with tourists because they just got a lot of beach. And that's it. It's like I literally told you one time that I could kill turtles from Bethany Beach all the way to Rehoboth without blinking an eye. I could do that.
I know you could.
That's the whole shore.
You could walk the state line of Delaware and kill that length of turtles with a hammer.
In a day.
Wow. That's amazing.
Because not only are you...
I think your elbow would get tired from bashing the turtle's brains in. But do you think what would get more tired? You killing turtle with the hammer or you walking along
I would
Delaware?
say my shoulder would give out first. I'd have to take turns from left to right. My left, here's the thing, my left, contrary to belief, is my weakest arm.
I was always thinking your left one was the
Well, everyone
strongest.
thinks I'm ambidextrous, but it's not true. My left arm is weaker.
Me and
so
everybody else have been discussing it, and we have all thought that you were ambidextrous.
Well, it's because I kick with my left foot mostly.
We noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy that you are not so ambidextrous.
I want to know where this meeting started about me being ambidextrous.
Me and everyone we've noticed, but
Did you have a meeting, or you just kind of like see people here and there?
we just talk about it.
Like, I'm not around? Or
Yeah.
am I like in the background?
You're not around,
talking?
man. We're talking behind your back about how you're ambidextrous.
Well, honestly, that makes me feel better. That it's like behind my back, but I'm not in the room, right?
You were in the room once. You were just behind our back.
Oh, okay.
Or we were
That's
just behind
fucked
your
up.
back.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but we couldn't help it. We couldn't help resist.
But honestly, if I could be known for anything that's not true, it's being ambidextrous.
yeah.
That's what I want. I want to be known as the guy that does it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who doesn't?
I know a guy who does it all. We went to high school with him. He's a great guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. I mean, it's
Initials MS.
and
Good dude.
he honestly has he acts like the initials JC. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
Yeah. Not JC, my younger brother.
Honestly, yeah, I think we should.
I got a video of JC today
Yeah?
on Snapchat. I'm going to show it to you right now.
What did he
It's
say?
awesome.
What did he do?
You can you'll be able to see. It's cool.
I'll wait.
No, seriously, you have to wait, dude. It's going to be worth it. I'm going to show you.
No, I'm willing to wait for you.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that when I screen recorded it, it would record the song that I was playing. So dang, that's ruined. So the video is supposed to be JC going, ew, what? But it's got music on it. Dang it.
What song is that?
It's a Bone song. It's called Render Distance.
Oh.
It's like my favorite Bone
I was
song.
wondering why I was getting blasted with music.
Yeah, I guess I'm still connected over here. Yeah. So no announcements this week. If you want to buy our shirts, get on CouchBurnerWV.com.
Everybody but people who live in Delaware can buy the shirts.
If you're in Delaware, do not even think about buying our shirts.
Don't even do it.
We don't want you as fans.
So there's people that have
Except for
t-shirts.
you, Uncle Al.
Yeah, Uncle Al, you're accepted.
Everybody else, sorry you live in Delaware. West Virginia has availabilities if you would like to live here.
It's like a new pair of underwear.
It really is like a new pair of underwear. Episode 73, everybody. We'll see everybody next week for episode 76.
We're skipping episodes and just trying to make it seem like we're more advanced.
Last week was 71. Next week's going to be 73, though. And this week's going to be 73.
Yeah. So we're going to stay with 73.
Yeah, 73 for the rest.
I
until
think we
die.
were going to stay with 73 for a while. It's a good number.
It's a great number. It equals 10 if you add it up.
Yeah, and also it's the amount of weeks in a year.
73.